If your Nellie R Sevens has yellowing leaves, drooping leaves, you're probably making one of 3 mistakes, and one of them could actually kill your plant. With over 25 years in the landscaping industry, I've planted my fair share of Nellie R Sevens, and today I'm going to show you how to keep your Nellie R Sevens healthy, full, and lush all year long. Now here's the thing, Nellie R Sevens is one of the more popular shrubs out there. People love it because you can use it for a privacy hedge, and it can grow 2, 3, sometimes even 4 foot per year. But that fast growth, that is also why people get overconfident and stop paying attention to the basics. And when we stop paying attention to the basics, we run into problems like yellowing leaves, brown tip leaves, no berries, or even worse, root rot. So let's get into the care that actually matters, starting with the #1 problem that I see. And stick around, because number 3 is one of the more common mistakes I see, but yet it's the easiest to fix. Mistake #1 that I see homeowners make is overwatering. In particular, overwatering in saturated soils. Nellie R Sevens Hollies prefers a well-drained soil, so if you plant in heavy clays and then water on top of that, that is going to lead to root rot. And nothing will kill a Nellie R Sevens faster than having root rot. During the first growing season, you will want to water approximately 1 inch per week, but after that, once it's established, this is a very drought-tolerant plant. Only water if you're in an extreme drought. Now, one of the most common things I see with Nellie R Sevens and all hollies in general is nitrogen deficiency. And you'll know your Nellie R Sevens is nitrogen deficient because the leaves will start to turn yellow. You'll see it across the plant, especially on older leaves. This is an indicator that your plant needs more nitrogen. The plant is taking nitrogen out of the older leaves in the bottom and the interior of the plant and supplying them to the new leaves or to berry production as well. Oftentimes you'll see nitrogen deficiency during the formation of berries. You'll see the berries form and then the leaves turn yellow. That's your signal that you need to add nitrogen to your Nellie R Sevens. Additionally, another thing you want to consider, if you're putting nitrogen down on your soil and you're not seeing the leaves turn green, you're getting more yellow, check your soil pH. Nellie R Sevens, just like with any other holly, likes a pH between 5 and 6.5. If your soil pH is out of this range, your Nellie R Sevens may not be able to access the nutrients in the soil, even though they are technically there. Nitrogen, iron, magnesium, manganese, they're all in the soil, but if the pH is wrong, the nutrients are locked to the soil layer and not available to your plant. So what do I recommend? Using acid-forming fertilizer, Hollytone is a great option. It's organic, it's formulated specifically for acid-loving plants like hollies, azaleas, and rhododendrons. Apply it in the early spring as new growth is starting, and then you can do a second lighter application later in the summer. What you do not want to do is throw a generic triple 10 fertilizer on your Nellie R Sevens going into the fall season. This is going to encourage new growth on your Nellie R Sevens as we enter the cold season. This new growth is going to be tender in nature, and it may not harden off before a freeze or a frost. And here's a pro tip for you. If you do not know your soil pH, run a soil test. Most independent retail garden centers are going to offer some sort of soil test. Additionally, if you're in the United States, you can send off soil to your local land-grant college. For example, if you live in South Carolina, you would send it to Clemson. If you live in Nebraska, you send it to the University of Nebraska. They can tell you your soil pH, also the nitrogen, the phosphorus, potassium in your soil as well. And this will get you a great starting point for getting your Nellie R Sevens in shape. Mistake #3 that I see with Nellie R Sevens is pruning at the wrong time. As we exit spring into summer, most Nellie R Sevens, if they're in the right environmental conditions, are going to put on copious amounts of growth. They're going to grow 2, 3, sometimes even 4 feet per year. And homeowners see this and run and grab the pruners. This is the wrong time to prune Nellie R Sevens. You want to prune Nellie R Sevens in late winter into early spring. And really there's 2 ways we can go about pruning Nellie R Sevens. If your Nellie R Sevens has a nice pyramidal shape, as most of them do, you can selectively prune the tallest branches or the leggy branches out of the Nellie R Sevens. This is going to allow for more airflow within the canopy of the tree, and this lowers our chances of having potential diseases get into our Nellie R Sevens. If you would like your Nellie R Sevens to be a little more thick in nature, you want to go in and shear these. Now I'll probably get some feedback in the comments, oh, don't shear Nellie R Sevens. If you shear them, what's going to happen is wherever you make a cut, you're going to have 3 to 4 new branches come out, and that's going to fill in the plant. However, we're not going to get the airflow into the plant that we would otherwise get if we were selectively pruning. So this is more or less a personal decision. You need to look at your Nellie R Sevens. If you elect to shear your Nellie R Sevens, make sure you do it in a pyramidal shape and not a box shape, because what's going to happen is the top of your Nellie R Sevens, if you prune it in a box shape, it's going to shade out the bottom of it. That's going to cause leggy branching, and eventually you're going to have holes in the bottom of the leaf structure of your Nellie R Sevens. The correct timing for pruning Nellie R Sevens, late winter, early spring, and specifically where to prune. If you look here, you can see these little nodules. These are nodes. This is where flowers and vegetative growth are getting ready to come out. So if you prune now, you can take it all the way back to last year's berry growth. So right here, take it all the way back to there. What's going to happen is you're going to have 2 to 3 new branches come out where you prune. And if you're pruning late winter into early spring, that's going to fill back out. You're still going to have flowers come out in the spring. You're still going to have berry production in the fall. In the winter, they'll go from a green berry to a red berry. One more thing about pruning Nellie R Sevens, always use a clean, sharp pair of pruners. For pruning Nellie R Sevens, I like to use a bypass pruner. You want a clean, crisp edge. I find sometimes when you use an anvil pruner, that's going to crush the stems a little bit, and that's just a place potentially for pathogens to enter the plant. Now before I wrap up, let me give you a quick rundown of the pests and diseases associated with Nellie R Sevens, because even if you avoid the 3 big mistakes, Mother Nature can always throw a curveball. Now on the pest side, keep an eye out for scales, spider mites, and whiteflies. Scale is the sneaky one. They look like little brown bumps on the stems and the undersides of leaves. If you see them, treat them with neem oil or some other type of horticultural oil. Spider mites, you'll notice fine webbing on the leaves, usually in hot, dry conditions. A strong blast of water from a hose can knock them off, or use an insecticidal soap. Whiteflies are perhaps the most obvious. There will be small white insects flying around your Nellie R Sevens. To get rid of whiteflies, you can use the organic route, such as spinosyn or BT. Also, bifenthrin works good on whiteflies as well. A pro tip for you for producing more berries on your Nellie R Sevens. Nellie R Sevens is dioecious, meaning they're separate male and female plants. Nellie R Sevens is technically a female plant. Its male counterpart is called Edward Stevens. However, Nellie R Sevens is what we call parthenocarpic, meaning it can produce berries even though it does not have a pollinator associated with it. If you want your Nellie R Sevens to produce more berries, 2 things to consider. 1, if you can find an Ed Stevens in production, purchase it. It's going to produce the pollen needed to fertilize these flowers to make even more berries. However, Edward Stevens can be difficult to find in the nursery trade. Another thing you can do, any member of the species Ilex cornuta is going to also be able to pollinate Nellie R Sevens, as long as the flowers on your Ilex cornuta bloom at the same time as your Nellie R Sevens. If you found this video helpful, hit the subscribe button below. We have much more plant care content coming. Down in the comments, let me know, what is your biggest challenge with your hollies in your landscape? I'll do my best to answer those questions. Guys, as always, thank you for watching The Plant Doctor, and until next time, happy gardening.